Hi, I'm Doug Gardner. Thanks for joining us today. We're going to be talking about video tripods today and what you should look for when purchasing one. You know, it's no wonder we're surrounded by videos today in this world, and more people are getting into video production. Whether it be a fun hobby or if you're jumping in as a serious career, there's a few things that you need to know before running out and purchasing a ton of equipment and maybe not the right equipment. To start off with, I recommend a camera you probably already have, either a DSLR or mirrorless camera body and one of your photo lenses. This is going to be the lightest and cheapest way for you to get started. Now, most of these rigs will resemble something like this. Now, for a tripod situation, you've got two options. You can go with the traditional photo style tripod that has 3 singular tube legs, or you can go with a traditional video type tripod that has 3 sets of multi-shafted legs. The idea behind this is that the more shafts you have, as vibrations move up and down through the tripod, it dissipates through the various shafts that you have available. Now, regardless which one you use, the idea behind this is to make sure you have a tripod and head that supports the payload, the amount of weight that your camera and your lens is going to weigh in at. You don't want to have any twisting or flexing of the legs when you move the head back and forth or pan up and down. The other thing to keep in mind is you may want to have a tripod that has independently moving legs so that you can work on unlevel terrain or even very close to the ground. Next is the head. First of all, let me say, you cannot use your traditional photography ball head or gimbal heads for good video work. It simply does not work unless you are locking the camera down and don't plan on moving it, such as in a interview type situation. But for natural history stuff, you need to be able to move that head up and down, right and left, as smoothly as possible. The key to great video is having the smoothest possible footage you can. The best way to kill a good piece of video is with a lot of unnecessary shaking and jerking as you move the head up and down. For that, you're going to need a proper quality video pan and tilt head like this one right here. Now, this is a smaller version. This is a 75mm bowl. And the idea behind the fluid head is that in here there's a series of baffles and ports, and as you move the camera side to side or up and down, it forces fluid through these baffles and ports, creating resistance, which creates much smoother video movements. Things to look for when you're purchasing a good quality video head: the head must be able to be leveled through the bowl on the base of it. It must be able to have adjustable tension and counterbalance, and it needs to have a sliding balance plate on top so that you can balance the camera. This particular rig, tripod and head, is going to start at about $1,500 and go up, and it has a payload of about 10 pounds, which will handle most of your DSLR or mirrorless type rigs. Now, when you're ready, you're probably going to find yourself moving up to something a little more professional, which is a rig like this. This is a much heavier, much more rigid system. It's all carbon fiber. It's the traditional fluted or multi-shaft leg system, which dissipates vibrations as they move up and down the legs. Now, this system has a much heavier load capacity on the fluid head as well as the legs. Now, this particular rig is holding a very large, very heavy rig. This is a red cinema camera with a 60-600 telephoto lens, and then all types of accessories which add on lots of weight. You got brackets, rails, you got batteries, battery plates, handles, and monitors, which all add up. So this particular rig comes in at around 22 pounds. The particular fluid head has increased adjustments for tension, counterbalance, locking, and plate, your sliding balance plate on the top. This particular rig is made by Sackler. It's a 100mm bowl and starts at about $9,000. Now, most of my filming assignments will actually take a Canon 50 to 1000mm lens, which is a very large lens, and the lens by itself weighs about 19 pounds. We'll mount it on this camera, And for that particular rig, we've increased our weight of the overall camera lens rig to about 40 pounds. So we need a much larger tripod and head to handle that. The ones that we use are either Sacklers or Atlas or Ronfa Baker, and those tripods and fluid heads will have a 150 millimeter base at the bottom, and they start at about $20,000 and go up. Regardless of what situation you find yourself in, whether it is just enjoying a hobby with DSLR or mirrorless video on a smaller lightweight rig, or something like this, or even bigger, the bottom line is do not skimp on the quality of your tripod and fluid head. I'm going to leave you with this. In my opinion, it's more critical to have a sturdy tripod and a smooth fluid head than to purchase the top of the line camera. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. That way we can notify you when we put out new content. Thank you very much.